All right, guys, let's see if this thing is actually going to work. Okay, actually on the air. Let's talk a little sports here. I gotta get everything reset up. This is a mess, man. Not giving a very good marks to Google Plus, man. This thing is a mess, dude. I just cannot get this thing to work like I want to. Taping when I don't want it to. I don't even know what the hell is going on with this thing. Okay, let's see. Well, I guess I'll find out in a minute. How about giving me a link to share with people? Upcoming events. All right, let's try this instead. All right, that looks better. We're talking now on live online. Let me get it set up. I apologize if you're actually watching this. I apologize. Okay. Well, I've got the baseball game on in the background. I want to quickly go over a few things. First note, yesterday in the NFL. Let me double check everything. Broadcast still going. As of yet, I have nobody here. 0 viewers. Oh my God, man, I just can't get it to work right. Oh boy. Okay. So everything's disabled. Cameraman, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. 1 viewer, is it me now? Okay, we were talking sports, yesterday's football. Trying to pull up the control panel so I can see everybody that's in here. Of course, it's not working, I guess. You know, it's just counting me as viewing myself. I was just going over the football. Got the baseball game on in the background. Yesterday was a crazy day in the NFL. Teams lost big halftime leads, big second half leads. Lots of teams rallied yesterday. Carolina got the benefit of a weird. All of a sudden the light just went down. I don't get this thing. This Google's thing just really sucks, man. Aggravating as shit. Anyway, try this. It's just not working, man. This isn't getting it done for me at all. Okay. Take 10. All right. Yesterday in the NFL, get this full screen. My baby girl. Yesterday in the NFL, I'll start by talking about the game, the Bears at Panthers. Bears, based on Panthers' mistakes, were able to build up a 21-7 lead. The Panthers, the key momentum swing in that entire game was the Panthers driving the ball down the field, punching in a touchdown just before halftime to cut it to 21-14. Panthers came back out and were able to basically just take care of business in the second half. Chat, ask questions. I'm looking for questions. I'm not sure if it's interactive or anything, man. I'm struggling to figure out anything on here. If you guys have any comments or want to get involved in the conversation, I've got chat up, group chat. I don't see, it's just hard to make heads or tails, guys. Supposedly when somebody joins the broadcast, it's going to let me know. I'm not positive if it is or not. Just keep talking. No score in the game still. San Francisco, Washington tied in the bottom of the fourth, no score. I was talking about Carolina's rally in the second half, how the Bears, when you have Jay Cutler, you expect a couple mistakes a game, and he delivered yesterday. Another crazy, wild finish was the Cleveland-Tennessee game. First half, totally dominated by the Titans. I think Whitehurst was quarterbacking the Titans, and damn, he was actually made to look pretty good for a while. But the Cleveland Browns were able to peck away at that lead, basically dominate the second half, come down near the end, make big plays. Got a key safety that kept them from having to go for a 2-point conversion. Everything really worked out their way. Still see I have no visitors. No visitors. I just don't know what to make out of heads or tails. Do I have any visitors or not? And it's just so aggravating, man. So aggravating. Looks like everything's back up here. I was just talking football again. Lord have mercy. Okay. Present to everyone. All right. The last game we discussed, like Cleveland, Tennessee. I mean, you had games all around the league with big second half comebacks. Even the Rams, who were down 34-7 to Philadelphia, mounted a furious fourth quarter rally. They actually had the ball at midfield with a couple minutes to go, essentially a chance to pull out the game. They ended up not getting what they needed, couldn't get down the field. Final score, Philadelphia 34-28. Giants able to beat back the Atlanta Falcons. Road woes continue for the Falcons. You get what you expect from Atlanta on the road. They typically wilt and fade. That's what happened yesterday. Giants basically outmanned them, physically abused them in the second half to get a 30-20 win. Most disappointing play of the day cost me a 17 parlay. The Saints rallying to defeat the 37-31. What's funny is the Saints basically created their own drama. Breeze with picks on his own end of the field. Some throws you just never see Drew Brees make. He made yesterday. It's just unusual to see Drew Brees make those type of mistakes. However, like I say, the Saints were able to rally, get it tied up. I think right after halftime, they had a 13-10 halftime lead. They made a couple mistakes that essentially put them behind the 8 ball, so to speak. They were down 24-13 in the third quarter. Managed to work their way back, sent the game into overtime, tied at 31. And then, of course, they just marched deftly down the field like they could have done the whole game and just beat this Tampa Bay team like a drum. They chose to make it more competitive than it really needed to be. Houston, Dallas holding a 10-point lead over Houston in the fourth quarter. Then, of course, see, I have any viewers right now. I'm trying to see what is going on with this thing. Again, this interactive face with this Google Hangouts is just terrible, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. Just trying to see if anybody's actually on here. I can't even make heads or tails of it. Yusul Kurale is going to watching. So right now it says I have 3 people watching, but I couldn't tell you one way or the other. According to this, I have nobody watching. Looking for Q's and A's. I don't know why it says this feature is disabled, but then there's no way to enable it. I just don't get it. And then the chat, there's no chat of any kind. I don't understand that part. And so I just go back to the control panel where I'm assuming they show the people that are on here. The only thing I see up here is myself. Now I'm just going to continue down the list. Detroit Lions came out of the gate early, took advantage of a Kyle Orton mistake, built up a 14-0 lead. Buffalo hung tough, hung tight. Defense basically dominated this game. I mean, you check out these stats. Detroit essentially did dick for the entire duration of the second half. It was definitely a defensive-minded effort from the Bills. Orton actually made some decent plays in the second half, seemed to get a feel for the game. Perhaps the Lions pass rush wasn't as fierce coming down the stretch. Orton was able to make some plays that helped this team get in position to win. Obviously, a 58-yard field goal right as the buzzer's about to sound for a 17-14 road win. Obviously, had those Lions fans in Detroit scratching their head. But that's what you get with an inconsistent team and an inconsistent quarterback. You get inconsistent play. Team can look great one week, like the domination they did of the Packers. Then they come home and just lay a fucking egg against Buffalo. I guess they assumed once they built a 14-0 lead that the game was over. They didn't have to do anything. But as we know, that's not the case in the NFL. You have to keep playing. Teams will keep coming at you. Colts was the one team. I mean, even this team, the Colts won 2013, but the Colts kept making mistake after mistake. They were down inside the red zone with a chance to put this game away inside the 2-minute warning, and they fumbled the ball, giving Baltimore that one last chance. Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, I guess the yawner of the day. Oh, everybody just take a nap watching that game. Pittsburgh pulled out an ugly game, did cover the spread. I mean, it was just a disgusting game. That one was a bad one to watch. Me personally, my top bet of the week came through. I had Denver 7.5. Certainly helped the cause when Drew Stanton got pounded out. But again, this is a case where Peyton Manning was creating most of the drama for the Broncos. If Denver just plays straight-up mistake-free football, nothing special, they just crushed this team. But instead, they had to drag out the spread out coming to the fourth quarter, give me heart palpitations before finally taking care of business. San Francisco, a big win for them. They rallied from an early deficit against Kansas City. They get down in the red zone late in the game, kick the field goal to cover a 4.5-point number with a 22-17 win over the Chiefs. Big win, like I say, for San Francisco. And then the absolute you deserve to be dumped on team of the day is going to be the New York Jets, as they were shut out for the first time by any team in the NFL this season. The Chargers pulled the trick, going 31-0. an absolute domination. I was on the Chargers. I was quite pleased. They even stepped up and made a second half under bet. The total was 20.5. I just assumed that the Chargers were going to grind out the clock and the Jets weren't going to be able to do shit. That's essentially what happened. 10-0 in the second half. Chargers on some time-consuming drives. One led to a field goal. A couple led to nothing. Jets essentially could do nothing. They didn't run a play in Charger territory until a pass interference call set them up on the other side of the 50 for the first time in the game about midway through the fourth quarter. Did them no good as they still weren't able to do anything. Took out Geno Smith, put in Michael Vick. It stayed the same. Vick, what do you think? All of a sudden he's going to make blocks and open holes when there's nothing there? Of course not. They got pounded out. And the New England Patriots last night, I suppose they did answer quite a few questions. The call was being made for different things, you know, like maybe Brady's had enough. This team can't win without stars, no weapons, this, that, blah, blah, blah. What do? They come out and absolutely whip the ass of the only remaining unbeaten team in the NFL, 43-17, butt whipping over the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati just didn't have it. They showed up. You could tell from the get-go. Just don't get their pace, the way they approach things, especially when you fall behind in the NFL. You have to at least give the impression that you care, you know, pick up the tempo, pick up the pace. Look, and the receivers, they couldn't hold on to the ball. They catch it, they fumble. Everything they did just showed a team that didn't prepare for this game and certainly didn't come in ready to play a winning game. Tonight you got Seattle 7-point favorites over the Redskins. They say this was a tough game for me really to fall on the side. I did ultimately play the total. I'm going under the 45.5. Feel this is a spot where Seattle might be able to get ahead on the road. And once they get ahead, I expect them to go and use the running game to grind the clock, long sustained drives, hopefully ending in some field goals. Not sure of the Redskins. We'll see what they got. Cousins was so awful against the Giants. You have to expect he improves this start. Just wonder what he'll be able to do against the Seattle defense. They say last road game for Seattle that they lost. It went over 30-21 loss in San Diego. But the difference I saw there was San Diego got out in front, forced the hand of the Seahawks, forced them to play a different tempo and style than they would probably want to play. Therefore, the pace of the game was increased. The tempo was increased. More points were scored. My play tonight on the Monday Night Football game, I'm going under the 45.5. In your baseball game tonight, I'm going to take Ryu to beat Lackey. Look for the Dodgers to take a 2-1 lead in this series as they face the St. Louis Cardinals. Ryu should have a fresh arm. He had some arm problems his last start, only went. I think his shoulder had some inflammation. I like the kid. Thinks he gives them very good innings. Look for that fresh arm to hopefully be ready to go today in St. Louis. Lackey is just so inconsistent. You never know what you're going to get from him. He has to work hard just to maintain any, consistency. It always seems like this guy is struggling with runners on base, trying to get out of innings instead of dominating the opposing lineup. It's like he's tiptoeing his way through it, sometimes making it, sometimes not. So that's what I got there. About 10 minutes into the show, I'm going to take a quick look around, see what I can figure out here. Why? I have no idea what is going on. You're presenting to everyone. Well, who else am I supposed to present to? Okay. Chat, nothing. Is there anybody in here? That's the key now. I can't tell if it's working or not, to be honest. This really sucks. We got the baseball game rolling. According to this, there's 3 people watching. But I don't see anything going on right now. Let others know you have arrived. Just invite the public. Invite them all, right? Man, I just hate this. I guess what I hate most is I'm broadcasting to nobody. Probably a bad idea to do these. I just thought I'd try it one more time. This might be the last time I give this a whirl. We'll continue to monitor. Right now, baseball game, still nobody winning. And again, we got more people. I just don't get it. Just don't see anything going on. Nobody here, I'm guessing. It says 0 viewers. So I'll wait till there's actually somebody viewing before I care. I mean, I guess this could be broadcast at a later date. Talk about the Saturday night fiasco that was Michigan State built up a 27-3 lead, totally dominated Nebraska after 3 quarters. Once the 4th quarter started, Michigan State went into a shell, which you kind of expect. However, their defense, they're not supposed to go into a shell and just totally tank, giving up big plays, punt return, long plays down the field, just everything you can to fuck me happened in that game. I really was wishing Michigan State would have just fucking lost. That's what they would have deserved. Guess I'm just going to delete this, man. This sucks.